my name is GP Rao. A hearty welcome to all of you for this 51st Foundation Day of ISTD Delhi Chapter. So I would request now the Chairman of Delhi Chapter, Mr. Mukesh Jain, to give his opening remarks and a formal welcome address. Mr. Mukesh Jain.
Thank you, Dr. Rao, and good evening, friends. Welcome all my veterans and founding members of ISTD. It's a great day. So, Dr. Ranjan Kumar Mahapatra, Mr. Dr. Nataraj Ray, Dr. Udesh Kohli, Dr. Abad Ahmed Saab, Dr. Vinashil Gautam, Dr. Sunil Abrol, Dr. D.K. Benwet Saab, my seniors, all my seniors, National Vice President, Mr. Daniel Kurian, all my NC members and chapter chairpersons of ISTD, friends from NHRD, NIPM, AIMBA, and other present here will be benefited to know about ISTD, the initial days, the middle days, and today and future of ISTD. So let us welcome everybody to all our veterans and chief guests and guests of honor to this evening. And I, wish you a very good evening and a very good weekend. So over to Dr. G.P. Rao. Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Thank you, Mr. Mukesh Jain. It was a wonderful opening address, setting the context. So, sirs, madams, a small permission from all of you. We are recording the session today because we will share your nuggets of wisdom, your blessings to the larger community. So with your permission, we are recording the session. Before we invite the chief guest and the guest of honor and others, we want to give a small presentation to you what Delhi chapter has done programs during the last 1 year. We call it Golden Jubilee year. I would request my senior colleague, our programs coordinator, Ms. Pritima Kaushal, to make a brief presentation on the programs that we have done during the last 1 year. Pritima ji.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Just give me a minute. I'll would like to present my presentation.
It's coming.
It's coming, right?
Yes.
Okay. 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 So a very good evening to everyone. A warm welcome to all our guests. And I'm really happy. I'm delighted, in fact, to share with you all the events organized by Delhi chapter in the year 2020-2021.
Madam, आप इसको slide show mode में डाल दीजिएगा, please. Slide show mode. हाँ, वहीं पे.
Okay, all
yes,
right.
Done, wonderful.
Thank you. So these events, comprised of evening talks, all virtual, of course. We had conference, there were panel discussions, and there were, a few celebrations also, in spite of the fact that it was a, year full of gloom because of the pandemic. Okay, so one second. Okay, so I would like to share with you in the beginning itself the highlights of this year, which were as follows. Number one, we launched the Golden Jubilee Evening Talk series by the members for the members. This was scheduled for every Friday evening. Number two, under the leadership of Dr. G.P. Rao, we organized 3 part series on good governance, right? And thirdly, we introduced Young Manager series. And in this, we organized panel discussions on various topics. This was ably coordinated by Mr. Yashwant Chauhan, right? So these were the 3 main highlights of the year. Now, I will give you in detail, like month-wise, what all, who were the speakers, what were the, the various events which happened month-wise. So we kick-started the year with the Golden Jubilee celebration on 10th of April, like today, last year. And we were fortunate to have Mr. Ranjan Mahapatra and Professor Dr. Vineshil Gautam, who spoke on the theme, Future of L&D, right? Then April saw two more events. One was a panel discussion on COVID-19 and the emerging HR, which was moderated by our member, Dr. Mamta Mahapatra. And the speakers were two HR professionals, Ms. Renu Bohra and Ms. Jayanti. The third event in the month of April was COVID-19 current scenario, prevention and mental wellness. And this was in collaboration with BLK Hospital and Rotary Club. May saw in the month of May, we began with the, one second. Panel discussion again. We had a panel discussion. This was in association with DMA. It was moderated by Dr. G.P. Rao. And the theme was rebooting with new normal, resilience, strategies for productivity management, right? So in the month of May, the third event was, it was really, really very, very interesting topic, the power of storytelling. And this was, conducted by Mr. Indraneel Chakravarti, who's the founder of Storyworks. The month of June, we had compassionate leadership by Anil Sachdeva, who's the founder and chairman, School of Inspired Leadership. 10th of June, we had, a prayer meeting and where we paid tribute to our past chairman, Mr. Niazi, who was the chairperson in 1987, 1988. So we had a prayer meeting, we were remembering him. 27 June, we had another program in association with BLK Hospital. This was post-COVID challenges and strategies, industry perspective. In July, we had 4 events. The first one was a virtual webinar on post-COVID IR-ER framework. And this was in collaboration with Delhi chapters of NIPM, NHRD, DMA, FMA, and this was moderated by Mr. Dwarkanath. 17 July, we had, the first part of the Good Governance series, which, as I told you, was organized by Dr. G.P. Rao. Very well organized and very well appreciated. 28 July, again, we had the part 2 of the series. 31st July, we had a program on lean management by Mr. Manoj Kumar, who's a managing partner at Fecto Consulting LLP. Then the month of August, we started preparing for our national conclave. And we had a virtual curtain raiser of the national conclave, and we had a learning session on virtual games for talent engagement. So the entire August went in the preparation. Also, we had one more, the third part of the Good Governance series in professional associations. Then we celebrated the Independence Day on 15th August, where we had a musical evening, Suron Ki Mehfil, with the renowned singers. 21st August, we had the Golden Jubilee series. In fact, 21st August, we started the Golden Jubilee series by the members. And the first speaker was Major General N.K. Dheer, who is the CEO and Director, Alphabet Teletech Private Limited. And he spoke on power of failure. Then in the month of September, we had our great national conclave, which was on the 5th and 6th of September. So then, come the November month. In November, we had 4 events. Starting from 6th November, we had a very interesting and very knowledgeable, evening talk by Mr. D.V. Shastri, who's the ED Gale India Limited. And he spoke on management lessons from ancient Indian wisdom and approach to more sustainable paradigm. On 12th of November, we had panel discussion on digitization in L&D. 20th November, we had a great speaker, Padma Bhushan, Dr. M.B. Atreya, who spoke on powering Indian HRD to face China. 27th November, again, we had another, very renowned HR professional, Mr. Sri Mr. P. Dwarkanath, who's a former chairman, GSK Consumer Healthcare, and he spoke on HR with heart. December, we had Mr. S.Y. Siddiqui, who's Executive Advisor, Maruti Suzuki, and he spoke on leadership in a world of disruption, real test of character. And this was, conducted in association with the Management Institute, IMI. 23rd event was on 11th December, which was HR Strategic Initiatives and Accountability by Dr. Jahari Lal, former Director, HR ONGC. Then on the last event in the month of December was by Mr. Karthik Rena, who's a founder director, learning facilitator. He spoke on client versus customer, the trainer's dilemma. 26th December, we started the Young Leaders Series, which, as I mentioned, was moderated by Yashwant Chauhan. And the theme this time was Future of Work, Role of Learning and Development. And 29th December was again a very, sad day for us. We had a prayer meeting for, where we gave tribute to Mr. Prabhat Varshni, our very, senior member and a very old member of ISTD. Okay, so the new year 2021 started with a great celebration. We had organized a gala musical evening to welcome and celebrate 2021. And we had a musical evening by very renowned singers, Mr. Murli Narayanan, Rachna Luthra, and Mohit Luthra. Then 8 January, we had with us Ms. Veena Sarup, who's a former HR Director, EIL, and she spoke on making organizations future ready, the HR perspective. 16 January, All India COVID-19 prevention, lifestyle, vaccine, and mental wellness and stress management. This event again was in collaboration with BLK Hospitals. Then on 22nd January, we had an evening talk on corporate governance, CSR, sustainability, and spirituality by CS Deepak Jain, who's a company secretary and a motivational speaker, member of Delhi chapter. 29 January, we had a roundtable, and the theme was talent development, renewed perspective. It was moderated by Dr. G.P. Rao. Then the February month saw, Miss Madhubala Sharma, who's a group head, HR, Concentrics. This is the second time she has come to ISTD, third time in fact. And she spoke on language, the game changer. 12th February was a 33rd event we had organized. And this was by Mr. Dr. R.S. Dabas from International Corporate Trainer. He's our National Council member also. And he spoke on leading organizational transformation through training. Then on 20th February, we had the second Young Leaders Series. We had a panel discussion on future of workplace, role of learning and development. This again was coordinated by Mr. Yashwant Chauhan. Then March saw, we celebrated the International Women's Day on 8th of March, and we had a panel discussion on distinctive leadership by women, and this was moderated by me, Kritima Kaushal. 19th March, we had another very interesting evening talk on spirituality in learning and development. This was, here the speaker was Mr. Parimal Gandhi. He's a corporate trainer and also an NC member. The last event in the month of March was on 26th, which was, the topic was transformational learning from holistic development. And the speaker was Dr. S.K. Acharya, former CMD, NLC India Limited. So friends, these were some of the events which were conducted by Delhi chapter. And here I would like to thank our chapter chairperson and the managing committee for giving me this opportunity to serve the training community. And I would also like to thank for excellent support, which was provided by Mr. Alok Agarwal and Arun Kumar, who did everything, supported us behind the scenes. And we will be very happy to receive your suggestions, as to how our activities can be taken to yet another level. So thank you very much. Over to Dr. Rao.
Thank you. Thank you, Prithimaji. Even if I take out those two condolence sessions and two culturals, 33 programs in 12 months
Absolutely.
in a pandemic time, it's a wonderful
Yes.
achievement.
Yes, it
Congratulations
was.
to each one of you.
Thanks to
Thank
everyone,
you.
really.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will proceed with the Foundation Day celebrations. I would now like to introduce our chief guest, and then I'll request him to speak. One of the toughest things I have gone through in this event is trying to adjust the profile in one slide. I think this is one of the very difficult thing. I'll try. We have summarized the chief guest profile. Mr. Dr. Ranjan Kumar Mahapatra, Director HR IOCL, President IPTDO. He's a product of BITS Pilani and XIM Bhubaneswar. He started his career with IOC in 1987. He's an architect of the successful fuel quality upgradation process of oil marketing companies in India. He headed operation functions of Maharashtra State Office in India, the largest number of oil terminals and depots. Prior to taking over the current assignment as the Director HR, he was the MD Indian Oil in the Mauritius, the wholly owned subsidiary of IOCL, where he led a team of young professionals, registering a sizable growth in market share and profitability, and becoming the ninth largest company in Mauritius and second largest oil company. Widely traveled to Europe, USA, Africa, South Asia, delivered papers, lectures, is a distinguished invitee in IMA, co-chair of HR committee of FICCI, and immediate past chairman of CA Odisha. Sir, we are so fortunate to have you, our chief guest on the Foundation Day. So welcome to you, sir. We would like to listen to your address. Over to Mr. Mahapatra.
Thank you. Thank you, GP Garu. Namaskar to everybody. I love this forum because without my effort, you always convert me from Mr. to Doctor. I think last time also I had so I love it. Nevertheless, thank you. I think Dr. Nataraji, Reggie, I don't know, I'm not able to see Dr. Vinashil Gautam right now. I think he must be there. Dr. Udesh Kohli ji.
I'm there.
Oh, good, sir. I mean, it's a huge number, so I'm not able to see you. Dr. Ahmad ji, Dr. Sunil Abral ji, and of course our own GP Rao ji, Mukesh ji, Pritima ma'am, many others, Radha ma'am, and many others. I think I'm not able to take everybody's name, but a very good evening to all of you. As always, I mean, I do not know. Mukesh ji has that call on me, so I was there for the 50th Foundation Day, and today I am there for the 51st Foundation Day, and I feel extremely happy. Not only because I definitely have a labor of love sort of with ISTD, but also the efforts which is being taken by this entire team of professionals who are leading ISTD today. So let me first, taking this 51st Foundation Day, I see all the many founding members and of course, President Emeritus and all others. So let me start with congratulating each one of you, entire group members who all are present, all the employees of ISTD Delhi chapter to be specific, on the occasion of this Foundation Day. And I'm sure the effort which is being carried on, I think Pritima ji gave, I was thinking when it will get over, and 33 in long, because in the schedule it was 5 minutes, it must have taken 15 minutes, because when you have 33 events taking place in a year, and that definitely takes time, and it talks of the efforts which is being made by each one of them. So let me congratulate each one of you for this 51st Foundation Day. I think we all know, I mean, I have been now associated very closely with ISTD for the last 3 years. And we all know that it's a premier institution. in the value of, although it is only writing about ISTD, T and D, but I think if you see even the presentation which was done by Pritima ma'am, that it's an institution which is doing a distinguished record of service in the field of human resource development. So that's something very, very great. And for me, again, personally, I'm extremely happy because ISTD also is affiliated to IFTDO, and I mean, with blessings of each one of us, and particularly with ISTD's good wishes, I'm holding the president's post for IFTDO for currently for 2021. I just wanted, I thought, since I'm getting an opportunity to speak to each one of you, let me just focus on this pandemic and the effect it had on each one of us, and how we have really gone through it, how the organizations like ISTD have really gone through it and have taken over, or rather overtaken it. So I thought I can focus on that. We all know that this pandemic has made everything to look for differently. We are currently seeing, and the second wave is also there, so we all have to be careful for that matter. But we all have seen how how our approach to the organizations, how our approach to the independent, I mean, the human beings approach to the entire problems has undergone a change. I think probably that is more visible. Otherwise, could we have thought of, more than 1 year before, could we have thought of that all of us are sitting in this virtual form and interacting with each other? I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I was telling with my boys that other day, I mean, my employees, we were sitting and we were discussing. I was telling, see, this has given a different ways of looking at people. And we all don't realize, I mean, people, I know, the people who are observant will be able to see the entire frame and entire people and their expressions at any point of time. So that's why it has become extremely important. So this power has also come to us. So anyway, at the same, what does exactly mean? That this means that at this point of time, our learning need, our skilling need, our reskilling need, our de-skilling and then reskilling need, this has been accelerated. This need has come now, that this has to be accelerated. I think probably this is where I feel very aptly, of course, ISTD has to play a very different role, has to play a very leading role, and it has been playing. I think the way you have just seen the example of one of the chapters, I'm sure that overall also ISTD must have done tremendous move during this period. Another thing which I thought which also needs to be built in, needs to be met. We all have also realized that during this period, new skills are required. The skills which brought us here, or the things that brought us here, will not take us there where we would like to go. I think this applies to everybody, each one of us individually, also professionally. It applies. Particularly yesterday, I was also there with an institution, and there were a lot of young boys and girls who were attending this virtual conference. I was telling the same thing, that we have to know, we have to reskill ourselves. We have to acquire new skills which will be required in future. When we talk of future of work, future of workforce, future of workplace, there are a lot of changes which is happening, and we have to identify it now. So we have a lot of, now suddenly we realized we were working with a different sets of skill gap. Suddenly we realized that we have to work on a different skill gap, and this is where I'm sure ISTD will play a huge role. I think Dr. Nataraj Rai is there, so with his dynamism, I think you must be already working on that how do we bridge this skill gap so that people are future ready, and we are able to meet this requirement. I'll just tell you about it. As far as Indian Oil is concerned, we also have got skill institutions in Bhubaneswar. We have set it up. It's a premier skill development institution. It's going to be a mega one, almost with 500 crores. We are setting it up. So we have an aim of training 50,000 youths in the next few years. Probably when we started it, of course, that mega campus will be very soon commissioned. Very soon it will be active. Otherwise, we were working on a small pilot campus. Only thing what I am also trying to say, that when we started, when we were operating, the skills which we had identified in the beginning are probably undergoing a lot of change. And now, since keeping up with that, we have signed a lot of we have got a lot of center of excellences now with Siemens, with Snyder's, with Kemp, and other. There are other world leaders. So with them we have signed, because we know that these are the skills which will be required now. But again, I also tell that to my people, and it is applicable to everybody else as well, that we got to update it from time to time. We cannot just sit idle that this is the one which will remain forever. So this is another thing which is also very, very important. And I'm sure ISTD will definitely play a major role in that. Third point, which I thought I will also try to take this opportunity to talk. Suddenly, the way we impart training has undergone a change. Yes, we have seen all this. We have taken advantage of this pandemic. We have reached maximum number of people. Not yesterday, just last week, last Friday or Thursday or Friday, I was with the Honorable HRD Minister and just discussing with Education Minister. We were discussing something. Suddenly he told, you know, Mr. Mahabhadra, I am loving it because we are able to touch, we are able to reach people, a large number of people through this virtual medium, which was not possible earlier. Absolutely true. I think we all realize that this is possible. So the way we are going to reach, the way we are going to impart training, the way we are going to make those differences in our people's lives is changing. But at the same time, we also realize that the human touch is also missing. If I would have been physically present, I would have hugged Dr. Kohli or Dr. Gautam. I would have taken their blessing. I would have shaken hands with Mr. Mukesh ji or GP Rao garu. This human touch is very much missing. We have to work on that. I think probably virtual solutions is not the solutions to everything. We are missing those water cooler discussions. We are missing those. In fact, today, not today, again, 2 days before my ADIC HR, Mr. Bose has already given a commandment to everybody because of this COVID rise. No to lunch together, absolutely. No casual stroll together. We can't do that at this point of time. It's good because safety is the prime importance at this point of time. But we are missing that. So this has to be also kept in mind. How do we really keep our people motivated despite such situations? How do we really keep our people engaged despite this situation? I mean, I think if I'm permitted to quote Dravel Rick, he says, I cannot let our crisis go west. I just have to work on that. I have to take the maximum advantage of this. So we all have to really take advantage of all these situations. I mean, every organization, I'm sure, must be doing a lot of things on this, and we must continue to do that. So I feel very strongly, and ISTD, that's why not only ISTD is an institution. It's built by people like we have seen. Dr. Kohli is there, Dr. Ahmad is there, Dr. Abrol is there, Dr. Gautamji is there. These are the people who have built it, who have brought it to this level. And the role of ISTD has become much more important during this period. So past was great. Current also, I mean, I think Dr. Nataraj Ray, Mr. Mukesh Jain ji, Dr. GP Rao guiding it, and all these people are also taking it forward. So present is also in good hands. But again, I'm sure the future will also be good if we are focused on this. these activities, these points, which I was trying to focus on, trying to point out on. Once again, I don't think I should be taking very long time on speaking on this. I am also elated that we are celebrating the 51st Foundation Day of ISTD. I don't, again, I don't want that all those efforts which have been made by this, by the founding members, by the people who have really given their sweat and blood to these institutions to go west. But pandemic has given us a new way of approaching everything. I think probably this is the current leadership has to work on, and I'm sure they are working on. We have lots of examples. We are seeing the way we have been approaching, the way we have been going forward. Of course, we have our national conclaves, other engagements which definitely have to go on. And only my little point will be that our focus on human resources per se must remain. Just to conclude, I think you all may be aware, I cannot let this go unnoticed, that IFTDO conference will be held between 24th to 26th November in Delhi. And despite the pandemic, I am really happy to say that the steering committee, the advisory committee has all been working hard. All other committees, I mean, they have been working hard. We are expecting it to be held in a hybrid format. And I'm sure, like all the previous IFTDO conferences which have been held in India, this will be also a marvelous success. And I'm sure with blessings from all our seniors, with care, with love, with affection of all the existing members of ISTD, which is in fact holding it. I mean, ISTD is the host for IFTDO conference. So I'm sure that this will also go to that level where we are aspiring it to be. Once again, congratulations to each one of you. And I feel very happy when I see smiling faces like Dr. G.P. Garu's smiling face all throughout. I think this is what, please keep on smiling. Just before concluding, one sentence which I learned recently about this laugh and smiles. I think this is attributed to George Bernard Shaw. I think Dr. Gautam will correct me later on, or not now, and if it is not. He says that when you grow old, you stop laughing. When you grow old, then you stop laughing. But he says that when you stop laughing, you grow old. So that's something for all of you. Please stay safe. Pandemic is not yet over. Please take care of yourself so that you can take care of everybody around you. Keep smiling. Stay happy. Namaskar.
Thank you so much. Had it been a physical mode of founding day celebrations, today everybody would have crowded Mr. Mahapatra for that wonderful, inspiring address. So you can all clap or say namaste, or you can put the reaction buttons. Digital people can put reaction buttons. You can send flowers, or you can just namaste. So it was a wonderful. He talked about the future of work, workplace, and workforce. He has given a framework for talent management. He talked about the need for that personal touch. He talked about the role of ISTD. He also said how he's gearing up for the IFTDO conference. Thank you so much, sir. We are very fortunate that we have in our midst our national president. When a chapter celebrates a foundation day, and on that day, the national president of the body is present, that's a great fortune. So we will now go to Dr. Nataraj Ray. He is the national president of ISTD. I will make a brief introduction of Nataraj Ray. So he is a very humble person. He said his brief has to be briefest. Prior to getting into this position of national president, he was the national vice president. He has been long association with ISTD. He was regional vice president, national vice president, secretary, chairman of ISTD Kolkata chapter, all that. He is functioned a member of various committees. He also was the diploma in charge, a true ISTDian. He has held positions. He has grown from the ranks. He has grown. He has seen everything of ISTD, and he is known for his down-to-earth attitude in whatever he does. Such dynamic people always will create great imprints for the profession at large. With that brief introduction, over to Dr. Nataraj Ray for your remarks and your blessings on this occasion. Dr. Ray.
Um, Thank you, Dr. G.P. Rao. Good evening, and my dear senior respected President of Emeritus and all past President, my current own dear OBs, the chief guest today, Dr. Ranjan Mahapatra, sir, and our senior Binoyshil Gautam sir, Sunil Abral sir, and also Udesh Kohli sir, the past President and President of Emeritus. My dear own dear Mukesh Jain, Chairman Delhi chapter, and all the chapter chairmen, NC member, secretaries, and my dear own dear friends and colleagues who are present in the meeting. Actually, today we have a foundation day, and we have also inaugurated and also the final round of innovative training practices in the Scope Complex. I'm still in the Scope Complex. The program is just over. So Mukesh Jain also here. So I'm just giving a very brief thing because the net problem is there, Scope Complex, because there is no net. Net is there. I'm going for whatever I'm speak from my mobile. My dear old and new friends, the new members, my dear own senior members, ISTD Foundation Day today. It is my privilege that I am holding the 50 years of ISTD this year. And this year is remarkable in my mind that I have holding ISTD last 28 years when I start my career in an ISTD diploma student. After that, I am with ISTD for chapter, national level, and finally the coveted post of ISTD president. In the 28 years, I have made many past president emeritus, and learned a lot how to make the ISTD today's stage, how to contribute, what their dedication and what their sincerity to make this ISTD pillar, the banyan tree today, which I am holding the legacy of the ISTD. Today, sir, I am just going for the path that whatever you have done, and I am also carrying that. You have done ISTD diploma, which is the largest diploma in the country. Sir, 45,000 alumni today as ISTD, which we have made it. We have a membership drive, and this year we have crossed all records, sir. The almost close to 9,000 members as on date ISTD, sir. Apart from that, we have recently tied up with the NOCN program, that is accreditation, which is one of the feather of ISTD, and a very market good share is going on for the NOCN program, which we are doing. In this pandemic also, sir, we have done a 36 participant and PSU for the participated today's innovative program, which is the largest program in the country. So ISTD is now banyan tree. We are in the part of the Skill India mission, Prime Minister's vision and mission. We are holding that. We are the largest assessing body in the country. I am proud that at the seats which we have put by yourself, sir, it is a now very big trees, and I am holding these trees as a national president. Already Chief Guest Ranjan Mahapatra sir told we are hosting the IFTIRO in 24 to 26 November. So we will make this conference is a successful one. We have one very good journal, ISTD. Slowly it is grow up, and now it is one of the best journal in the country. It is the research journal also. We are continuing with this. We are also doing the diploma. This year also, we have a largest diploma admission in the country, and I am proud that in the pandemic session also, we are taking the diploma online program, online classes, and also the examination. And as on date, it is updated all sector, though it is a very challenged. Our ISTD NHQ team work day and night, and now ISTD make one of the vibrant and activities. I hope future also ISTD grow and grow, and we one of the best association in the country. We have already tied up some of the SAARC countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and other countries where ISTD going to footprint of these countries. Bangladesh, we are already many diploma students is coming up, many members also coming up. Nepal, we have already tied up with Nepal Association for Human Resource Development. Bhutan also we have tied up. SAARC country we are also going up. So ISTD, in a true sense, now it is a global ISTD. Sir, my endeavor is that make the ISTD next level for the 2022, that ISTD will be the truly global, and for your legacy, I hope in future also ISTD grow with all your wishes and best support and cooperation and guidance. I'll make the ISTD and second level and one of the best association into globe. Thank you very much, Mukesh ji and your team. Delhi chapter is one of the biggest chapter. Many type of contribution you are giving. Every chapter today is holding the many conference, many celebration. 47 chapter is today holding the ISTD conference across the country. It is a very vibrant ISTD, close to 9,000 members across the country. I have seen at least 2022 chapter is holding the conference today, seminar today. And this is a proud moment for me as ISTD president, that ISTD is a more vibrant and more going on each and every day. And it is a best of my founders day. I pray to God, ISTD go one of the global association, and it is the best association in the world. Thank you very much, and good wishes for ISTD. Best of luck, ISTD. And ISTD is our heart, ISTD is our blood, and we are for the ISTD. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rai. The current leadership talking
you,
in
Dr.
presence
Rao.
of the current leadership talking in
Give
presence
a
of the
big
past
hand.
leadership and the future leadership. Mr. Mukesh Jain, you wanted to say something?
No, I am requesting everybody to give a big hand to my president.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I was just saying that when the current leadership shares his vision, shares his plan, shares his initiative, shares his global footprint, shares the way his inclusive leadership is showing in presence of the past leadership and inspiring the future leadership. That's what Dr. Nataraja said. Thank you so much, sir. We are very fortunate today. Besides our national president, we have got two of our founders present here, Dr. Udesh Kohli and Dr. Abad Ahmed. It's a great fortune, no, when the founders are present in a function. So I will go to Dr. Udesh Kohli first, and I'll make a brief introduction of him. Once again, it's very tough to put his introduction. He's President Emeritus ISTD. He's a founding member. He's a BE Honors, MBA, PhD Economics, and the presently Chairman Emeritus of Construction Industry Development Council, Chairman of Construction Industry Arbitration Council, Engineering Council of India. He's the Senior Advisor to Global Compact Office, United Nations, promoting his programs in India, Secretary General of International Federation of Training and Development Organization. He's an independent director on several boards. He has done leadership program, consulting programs for several companies. He has held coveted positions, number of positions. I have chosen a few. He was CMD of Power Finance Corporation, Advisor Planning Commission, Chairman Scope, President Council of Indian Employers, President IMA, President ISTD, Member Board of Governors IIM Bangalore and Kozhikode, consulted with United Nations Asian Development. Such an illustrious career as a great, magnificent, inspiring profile. Dr. Udesh Kohli, we are very happy that you are here today. Your blessings, please.
Many thanks, Dr. Rao, for the good words. At the outset, I wish to compliment the Delhi chapter under the leadership of Mr. Mukesh Jain and his team, which has been organizing these events throughout the year. We just heard about the events that have been organized. I think probably this is much more than any other chapter of ISTD, or even more than even the national office, the number of events which have been organized during this 1 year. Well, I'm very happy that Dr. Abad Ahmed, my senior colleague, is here. Apart from we two, to my knowledge, the only other living members, our founding members are Arun Sinha in Bangalore and GVN Mudaliar in Chennai, but I am not in touch with him. I don't know about him much at the moment. I think this is an occasion to recollect how the IST started and what happened in the beginning. Some of us got together in 1969 and we all decided that we should have a body like ISTD, which was registered on 10th April 1970. And we had a first national convention exactly on that day, starting at that time. Well, from there, it has grown. I remember the earlier years, we had difficulties. In fact, I took over as General Secretary in 72, and my office in the Planning Commission served as ISTD office. Mr. Bahuguna was the first employee of ISTD in 1973, and he used to sit on a desk in my room, office room there. From there, we have grown, and I think we must recall the efforts made and the contributions made by some of our senior people. Many of them are not with us at the moment. Mr. B.C. Mathur, who was in the training division and later became Secretary Personnel, and Mr. T.N. Chaturvedi, who was Chief Secretary of Delhi, and he was also Chairman of ISTD Delhi chapter. Both of them were responsible for getting us the office space for ISTD, initially in the Institute of Secretary Training and Management, and then later getting the land on which this building was built. Sharu Rangekar, who passed away only this year, recently, his contribution is tremendous in initial years. He is the one who started the ISTD diploma program. We are just seeing that how big it has become now. He is the one who also initiated the ISTD journal, the professional side of it. These are the foundations which were built for the ISTD. Starting from 4 chapters in 1970, today ISTD has grown to more than 40 chapters. This is a big growth, really. One thing I really, I must say with pride, more or less, that ISTD has followed the democratic traditions and practices throughout. There have been continuous elections every year. There have been both in chapters as well as in the national office. ISTD has followed the traditions which are built in the beginning. ISTD is also a founding member of IFTDO in 1973 when the charter was signed by for the IFTDO. And I think it's the only organization in the world which has already organized 4 IFTD World Conferences and now is going to organize the 5th one this year. This is quite a milestone, I would say, a landmark achievement for us. The presidents who have been there, some of them are here also today. Each one have contributed in the growth of ISTD. And now the baton is with Dr. Nataraj Ray, and I must compliment him also for the effort he is making for the growth of the ISTD. ISTD has a bright future. It has grown so much, it can grow further, and I'm sure all of us will help in its growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. In fact, you took us to a brief sojourn to the 51 years of journey, how you started and all. Each point that you told us, it can be a story to inspire new people to come to this bandwagon, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I will now go to Dr. Abad Ahmed and make a brief introduction of him. IT team, can I have Dr. Abad Ahmed's introduction? Yeah. So Professor Abad Ahmed, former Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi, a gold medalist at every examination of the university, a PhD in India and postdoctoral from abroad. He participated in the Advanced International Teachers Program with Stanford, in HRD, an International Teachers Program. He had distinguished positions, lots of, we have noted a few. He was Professor and Dean of FMS, Director South Campus and Pro-Chancellor of Delhi University, Executive Director of Management Development Institute, Chairman of Aga Khan Foundation, Visiting Professor at the University of California, Los Angeles, and the Indiana University, USA, Rafi Ahmed Kidwai, Chair Professor at Jamia Millia. He was consulted to several companies, and to name a few, ITC, BHL, NTPC, PFC, Hughes Software, etc. He's a fellow of ISTD, contribute to the growth of ISAPs. His well-known books, Management and OD, Developing Effective Organization, Indian Experience, Designing and Developing the Organization for Tomorrow, Passion to Win, How Winning Companies Can Develop and Maintain, Sustain Competitive Edge. Professor Ahmed is the recipient of several awards. A few I'm just quoting: Richard Beckett International Award for Outstanding Work in OD, Ravi Mathai National Fellowship for Lifetime Services to Management Education by AIMS, the Keval Noria Award for Academic Leadership and Management Education by IMA, and a Distinguished Service Award by the University of Delhi. Many awards. He's a great person, a wonderful human being, and an inspiring personality. Dr. Abad Ahmed, your blessings and your nuggets of wisdom, please.
Thank you for your very kind words.
Sir, he was the
Sorry.
सर please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
chairman
मुकेश जी आप चैट बॉक्स में डाल दीजिए,
chapter
चैट बॉक्स में डाल दीजिए.
between the 1974 to 76.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Sir,
my.
sir, you carry on, sir. Carry on, sir.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chief Guest and Guest of Honor, eminent emeritus presidents and national presidents, chapter chairpersons, distinguished chapter chairman and office bearers of Delhi chapter, and friends. First of all, I would like to compliment the Delhi chapter under the leadership of Mr. Mukesh Jain to organize this event so beautifully and so much enriching. And I would like to compliment the entire team which has organized and designed this event. For me, it's a great honor to be present amidst this galaxy of stalwarts in management, training, and development. They, along with successive dynamic office bearers, have made enormous contribution to the field of training and development and have raised the stature of the ISTD to international levels. Chairman Mukesh Jain ji has suggested that we share some past memories and memorable events. What stands out in my memory is the enormous contribution of Dr. Udesh Kohli, Mr. B.C. Mathur, and some of the other names which he mentioned. And they were the key persons in conceptualizing and building of ISTD as a distinguished, sustainable, and dynamic institution. They nurtured and patronized STD with a lifelong love and dedication to the ISTD. A most significant event that I can recall is the first international conference organized mainly by Dr. Udesh Kohli and Mr. B.C. Mathur's initiative that was held at Delhi. I was then the chapter chairman of Delhi. According to my memory, the then President of India was the chief guest in this conference. Dr. Kohli may correct me if I'm wrong. This conference, in my opinion, was the first major step to raise the stature of ICD to the international level. As we all know, the organizations and institutions which have the willingness and ability to change survive and excel, while those that don't become redundant and disappear. The very fact that ISTD has continued to grow from strength to strength is a testimony to its resilience and adaptability to change and the dynamic leadership of its office bearers over the last 50 years. Now, I would like to first of all say that the chief guest, Sri Ranjan Mahapatra, has beautifully articulated the challenges of change that we face now. And as he rightly pointed out, we are faced with radical changes because of the pandemic and virtualization of work and human processes in organizations and institutions. The challenges are daunting indeed, and we need to understand the changing training needs of organizations and convert them into opportunities that will be the key to success of ISTD. Today, we are feeling very much enriched in understanding, and I'm sure we'll further hear more distinguished speakers, the implications of these changes and how we need to provide to meet these challenges and address them. I'm sure the ISTD is already dealing with these and doing significant work to cope with these changes. As we all know, the change from face-to-face interactions and relationships to their virtualization, as pointed out also by Ranjan Mahapatra, the virtualization leads to many problems in employee engagement. Whereas, of course, it makes the reach out to a very large number of people. But at the same time, the downside is that the employee engagement, team working, and even the life and work balance become very much affected by the virtualization of the human process and interactions. The face-to-face relationships and teams satisfy many socio-psychological and emotional needs and create synergy which gets dimmed or missing in the virtual environment. This requires much higher level of emotional intelligence and skills in the leaders, amongst the leaders and managers, about which I think the emphasis of Shri Ranjan Mahapatra was very, very clear. Further, the pandemic has led to serious downturn, restructuring, mergers, etc., that are causing great uncertainty, anxiety, and tensions among the employees. In fact, one trainer told me this, that the situation seems to be like a pressure cooker. I mean, there is that much tension and anxiety among the employees in many organizations. Both these phenomena required to be addressed by leaders and managers, and they may need help from training institutions and HR departments. In this scenario, coaching and counseling and different styles of leadership and skills seem to have become very important. We will learn more about the contemporary and future training needs from the learned speakers. I'm confident that ISTD has already started in developing solutions to the changing requirements and is leveraging the emerging new communication technologies, as in today's meeting, to deal with these changes. I wish all success and glory to the ISTD and its office bearers, and I'm highly thankful to be invited to this auspicious occasion. My all best wishes to all the members present here and all the members who are so actively contributing to the development of STD and the training and development profession. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. You narrated many, many interesting facts, and you wrapped those facts with emotion and delivered with passion. And your humility spoke when you referred to Mr. B.C. Mathur. That's the humility of remembering people who work with you, sir. Mr. Mukesh Jain, you want to add anything before I proceed further?
No, it's okay. Just to give a big round of applause to Ahmad Ahmad Saab.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I would have said that. So let's all clap for Dr. Ahmad Ahmad, or use your reaction buttons and say a namaste or put a clap or anything. Thank you. So we will now move forward. We have an institution builder in our presence, in our midst, none other than Dr. Vinayshil Gautam. So I would like to introduce him briefly. Once again, it's very difficult to put his profile on one slide. He's President Emeritus ISTD, Chairman DK International Foundation. He's a globally acclaimed legend in the world of management, thought and practice. He held management development programs in India, Germany, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia. He helped key formulation of the government and the corporate sector. He's on the board of various Indian and non-Indian organizations. He addressed international audiences from Montreal to Melbourne to Caracas to Tokyo, a visiting faculty Institute of Development Companies, Japan, universities such as Cambridge, Sussex, London, Brunel, UK, Dominica, Duke, Penn State, USA, University of Los Angeles, Central University, Toronto, Canada, etc. He has served as the founder director of IIM Kozhikode, leader consulting team of IIM Shillong, first head of the management department of IIT Delhi, first honorary dean of the largest academy of KPMG, senior MD and principal economic director advisor. He has represented in India in the activities of UNESCO, Asian Productivity Organization Economic Convening. He has received several awards, name a few: G51 Millennium Award, Fellowship of ARTDO International, Fellowship of Royal Asiatic Society, London, Association of Business Executives UK, Legendary Contribution to Education Award, Hall of Fame Award, and Lifetime Award at the Business Festival of IIT Delhi, and got recognized during the completion of 400 years of Merida City. Medal in June 2009. Is a fellow of ISTD Daima. I take liberty of adding a few things which I learned personally when he was the chairman of Delhi chapter. The chapter was declared the best chapter. When he was the chairman, the chapter organized a foundation day, and later it came to be known at Vigyan Bhavan. Later it came to be the 10th April Foundation Day, and he only started the newsletter. Such a wonderful person, an institution builder. So we would like to have your thoughts, your words of wisdom, and your blessings. Dr. Vineshil Gautam.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. It's a privilege to be in the presence of this session with Mr. Mahapatra, Dr. Nataraj, Dr. Mukesh Jain, who have preceded my sequence, and other distinguished people. I was a little late because I was also a guest to the Kochi chapter celebration of the annual day, but that's a matter of detail. But I do owe an apology for not being here when the session began. The time is short, much has been said. I have deliberately pruned my remarks to fill in some of the thoughts, which I think completes the picture of the distinguished speakers' remarks who have preceded me. I happen to be the chairman of 20 years of ISTD celebrations 30 years ago, and we had done an exhaustive analysis of how this institution was born. And this was subsequently published in IGTD, and it was accepted as the version of the processes which we have gone through. That remains a historical landmark. We have had distinguished contributions from Mr. Mahapatra, who has set some goals for the profession. It doesn't need repetition. Dr. Nataraj has himself been an institution builder and has highlighted various things, of which one of his notes to the advisory board and elsewhere talked of the founding day, where he talked of Mr. Kwaruko from the Ford Foundation, Mr. Kichlu from the Planning Commission, who was a joint advisor when the society was born, Mr. B.C. Mathur, and he has talked of the role of people like Mr. Roy from the East, GVN from the South, Sharu Rangnekar from the West, and Dr. Udesh Kohli from the North in building up the society, and how they nurtured subsequent generation of ISTD leaders. Abad Saab himself has made some certain remarks. I don't think that needs a review or annotation, but I come in basically to make three observations. First is, going back to my days of studying and teaching history, which sounds like another incarnation, I remember reading a book by G.M. Trevelyan, which was captioned 1688, and which made a very simple statement. No institution, society, will ever survive unless it has some noble principles. And some amongst them were willing to give everything up to uphold their noble principles as an example to the society at large. He was talking of the glorious revolution of 1688. I think ISTD has a great tradition of sacrifice, colleagueship, working together. We go modest in our relationship. For example, I was listening to Dr. Kohli. He did not refer to his role, which I think was an oversight, which I would like to plug, in setting up what is today R2Do International. ISTD set up not just IFTDO, but also R2Do International, which means it is a founder member of the two of the major global federations of human resources development and training, which means we have every reason to be proud of our past. We have every reasons to recognize that we are heirs to a heritage which is very, very glorifying. But then we must also remember that an institution has to keep continuously renewing itself to stay alive, reinventing itself, working together in a feeling of colleagueship, working together in a way in which you celebrate each other, you contribute to each other's strengths, and take it to the next level. I think IFTDO 2021 conference is going to be a great example of doing so. We have already had references to our journal, to our diploma program, to our newsletters, and to our traditions. We have much to be proud of, but we have a long way to go. There is also a need for self-renewal. This is an occasion not only to celebrate, but to do some introspection and make sure that we bequeath a future which is at least as bright as the one which we inherited. We have much to be proud for. Of course, we can look for areas where we could have done better, but areas which needs strengthening, needs working together. Mr. Mukesh Jain himself is a good example of what can be done under some challenging circumstances. There are other colleagues in the Delhi chapter who have contributed. I'm very happy to have been associated with the institution buildings efforts of Delhi chapter for itself, and in the process, the national office. When national office needed some support in having its national premises come up, ISTD Delhi chapter came in, supported financially and elsewhere. I think the chapters have to work together to create this feeling of colleagueship, because it is that which makes a society great. We must remember, either we swim together or we face the adversities together, and the choice is an easy one to make. I'm proud to be here in this great tradition of learning and development, making sure we take ISTD to the next level. I only wish its future to be more glorious than what has been in the past. May we go from strength to strength. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I do notice I was given 5 minutes, and I'm known to take my directives seriously. It is not yet 5 minutes, but I would like to save some time for others who have more to say. Good luck to ISTD. May it always meet for its annual day as a retrospect and as prospect also. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you for the opportunity to unburden me of my thoughts.
Thank you, sir. A true institution builder, a pathfinder, a trailblazer, always set standards for others. So everybody's clapping for you. Mr. Mukesh Jain, you want to add anything? Then before
No, sir. Grateful to Dr. Vinayshil Gautam, although he was engaged somewhere else, but he has spared his time. So thank you very much, and grateful to you, sir.
Thank you. So we are also happy that we have a few of some of our past national presidents and ministers. Dr. Sunil Abroal is there. Dr. Benvetar also confirmed, but I can't see him. So we'll go to Sunil Abroalji first.
No, I believe he's having the fever. So
yeah, I know that. That's my way of
yeah,
saying. Yeah. That's my way of saying. Yeah. Dr. Sunil Abroal, I'm briefly introducing. He's the past national president of ISTD, the director and board member of NOC in India. He's on the board of World Confederation of Productivity Science, vice president of World Academy of Productivity Science. He's the president of Institute for Consultancy and Productive Research. He obtained his PhD degree in organizational psychology from University of Delhi, a PhD in international business. He's a certified trainer by Auckland. He's a certified management consultant. He worked for 3 decades in power and telecom sectors in management functions, senior levels. He's responsible for developing innovative management practices, including creating an Indian model for R&D management. Dr. Abroal, for 5 years, was the Director General of Consultancy Development Center under the Ministry of Science and Technology. He, since 2011, for the last 10 years, is involved in multiple projects in skill development, including setting up a sector skill council in management, entrepreneurship and professional skill implementation apprentices. Dr. Abroal held positions of chairman, president, director of various international professional organizations, including IFTDO, Academy of HRD, ISTD, IMCI, CIA, and DMA. He has authored 3 books. I think he's writing more. He's contributed several papers in numerous books and journals, published several research and consultants projects. Above all, he's a great human being and he's a great mentor to many. Over to Dr. Sunil Abroal.
Thank you, JP. Thanks a lot. Professor Abad Ahmed, Dr. Kohli, Professor Vinayshil Gautam, Mr. Mahapatra, Dr. Nataraj Ray, Mr. Korean, and all senior ISTD professionals and members. Thank you for inviting me to speak at this event. Dr. Kohli and Professor Gautam have given historical perspective and the role of various senior people in making of ISTD. In fact, many of these people were also involved with Delhi chapter. since it is a function of Delhi chapter, my next couple of minutes will be focusing only on ISTD Delhi chapter. ISTD Delhi chapter was supported and mentored by people like Dr. Deshkole, Mr. B.C. Mathur, Professor Abad Ahmed, Dr. Vinishal Gautam, and many others who were in Delhi and also part of the national activities. In fact, early 80s, when I got inducted into ISTD, it was a body which was full of academicians and professionals from government or from public sectors. And most of these people actually contributed a lot by giving to the organization. So they were contributing to the organization and not expecting anything from the organization. And if you really look at all the events that we did in that period, 80s and 90s, they were anchored around CMDs and actors of public sector organizations. So people from Indian Oil Corporation, or people from ONGC, BHEL, Planning Commission, all these people were basically the ones who anchored activities of ISTD. That was a wonderful time. We had a very cohesive team of professionals who were engaged in professional activities, primarily trying to generate publications, generate training programs, and also generate funds enough to run the institution. So chapters were self-sustaining to that extent. Delhi chapter, when I took over, we had that single room, which is about 300 square feet, and it had 3 cabins, one for the chapter chairman, another one for the secretary, and the third one was for the treasurer. And outside that 3 cabins was the staff. We had 2 staff members, 1 lady and a boy. And that indicated the kind of commitment people had. When I took over as chairman, we had Mr. R.P.S. Luther, who is participating in the event, and I'm sure he will be speaking later. He and Dr. B.L. Rawat, they were heading the Delhi chapter management, and they had conducted series of activities, and they used to spend a lot of time in the chapter office doing these activities. We were involved in publications. We had a communique, HRD communique, which was happening, and through that we were releasing a lot of articles and knowledge to the participants. And when I took over, I focused more on training activities, and therefore that room was converted into a training room. The staff moved outside into the corridor, and we started doing more training activities and generating revenue from training. The best part of 80s and 90s with respect to the ISTD activities was family get-togethers. I remember 2 events which were regular for all of us. One, annual dinner at the Defense Club in Dholakua, where not only the members but also the family members, the spouses would come and join in those events, and it really brought all of us together, not only at the professional level but also at the family level. The second event was again a dinner meeting where Dr. Deshkole, who used to conduct his programs, which were normally the weekly programs, 1-week programs, and residential programs, we used to have again family get-togethers along with the participants at those events in the evenings. Now, these are the events which basically brought the members together and brought a lot of togetherness in terms of working as professionals. There were very few conflicts or differences of opinion between people working at that point of time. In fact, while Dr. Kohli has mentioned that we have a very democratic process of electing our leadership in ISTD, but I can also share with you that during that period of 80s and 90s, while we had democratic processes and policies, the process used to be more on consensus basis. The presidents would be nominated by the four regions through rotation, and then they would be kind of selected by the senior people and said that, okay, fine, next year we will have such and such person coming in as vice president or president. And that was accepted by all the members. The point I'm making is that there was very little conflict in terms of people wanting to get elected or people wanting to move into the positions, but there were more consensus in terms of who deserves to get into that role, and people were placed there accordingly. So it was a wonderful time, and we all enjoyed it. We all contributed to it, and my thanks to all the people with whom we had a chance to work and people who contributed to this effort. ISTD has grown over the years, and as was shared by Pratimaji, we have today 33 activities happening in a year, which was not the level we were doing in 80s and 90s. Our level was much lower, number of events was much lower, but then our togetherness was more in terms of the management committee meetings, which happened very regularly every month. We used to have other get-togethers at AGMs and other events where people were getting together. My compliments to the current team of Delhi chapter for the kind of work they are doing, wonderful work, and best wishes to them for future activities. And in the closing, I would like to compliment and congratulate everybody for the Foundation Day of ISTD. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Abral. You are always humble, honest, straightforward, and tell the truth so that people will learn from success and failure and move forward with a greater commitment and better preparation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, JP.
Mr. Mukesh Jain, you want to add anything before I proceed?
No, since Dr. Benwet is not there, our very senior past chairman, Mr. K.N. Bakaya is here. So kindly invite him to speak something. We don't have his profile.
No, it's fine.
Please invite him to speak.
No. Dr. Bakaya, so you are most welcome, sir. You are a past chairman of Delhi chapter. You deserve to speak today.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please.
Hello, wait. Thank you, Mukesh. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Bakaya.
Because I'm not that savvy, so that you can't see my picture.
No problem.
So I must say that you have organized a wonderful event, and you brought the chapter to a very high level. I hope subsequent people will turn to. I was very happy because from the 1970, I have been associated with the ISTD from the Calcutta chapter, with Dr. Natraj knows about it. And seeing, it is always we always believe that let the seniors give space to the younger generation and they'll do wonderful. I congratulate remembering Bahuguna, who gave with tremendous service and sustained through many ups and downs of the chapter. And we have seen, and we have been very happy. We also served as a ED for 2 years because the Dr. Bhushan and the Dr. Udesh Kohli, and we have seen the at least 3 international ISTD conferences, and I was one I attended when I was AD, when was held in Vigyan Bhavan, and subsequently they have been sort of directed and pioneered. It is the selfless services rendered by many. I recollect to say Sharu Rangnekar, Dr. Bhushan, Dr. Dharni Sinha, and Mr. Virmani. There's so many others which I remember, and Mr. Amrolia from South. It is the combination of the efforts of these people that the society is at such a position today, and knowingly that they have never taken any assistance from the government, and it has always remained self-sustaining. I congratulate you and thank you very much for allowing me to participate. I hope you heard me.
Yeah, we all heard you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and wish you a glorious evening, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bakaya. In fact, we are not obliging you, you obliged us by coming here and speaking here and talking about your experiences. Thank you so much. We had Mr. RPS Luther, but now we can't find him now. I'll make a last announcement. Are you, Mr. Luther, are you here? I have seen the platform, he's not there. Check the participant list, he's not there. He was there in the beginning. So before we end this program and have...
No, Dr. Suri is also past chairman, although he is having COVID, but he is attended that program. So if Mr. Luther is not here, let us invite Mr. Dr. R.K. Suri.
Sir, I beg to differ with you. We will invite Dr. Suri not as a substitute, but as Dr. Suri, he will come.
No. He is past chairman, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not in place of Mr. Luther. In his own capacity, he will come and
You are
speak.
right, sir.
Mr.
You are always right.
Dr. Suri. I'll invite Dr. Suri. Dr. Suri, you would like to say a few words?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Good evening to all.
Thank
you very much for giving me an opportunity. I was looking forward for attending it, but unfortunately, I was having a COVID positive report today morning. So I've even then I thought, okay, let me join the event. And I joined ISTD in 1990s. And
Dr. Bakaya, can you mute yourself? Yeah, Dr. Suri, go ahead.
Yeah, I joined ISTD in 1990, and during that course of time, I was really impressed with Dr. Udesh Kohli, Dr. Vineshil Gautam, Dr. Amroha, and R.P. Singh, and various other stalwarts who were contributing towards the development of ISTD as a fraternity for training and development. And at that time, the diploma program was there. I joined the diploma program. I completed the diploma program after doing my PhD in psychology. And in 1993, I did my diploma. 1990, I did my PhD. At the time, when I joined as a secretary of the Delhi chapter was in Doldrum. When I became the chairman, again, it was in Doldrum. We cherished it at that time and created a surplus. Of course, later on, again, it went into Doldrum. And as a matter of fact, such events has been happening in the past recurrently. Sometimes the people takes it up and the other people takes it down. This is a part and parcel of any institution, be it any family business, be it a government institution. But the continuity is a very important aspect of the growth. ISTD has a lot of potential. It would have taken up a major striding road wherein HRD network and other would have been NY to ISTD. But nevertheless, today again, it would be very important youngsters come forward and take ISTD to a great height. As Dr. Vineshil Gautam has expressed, that ISTD has been involved in setting up of 2 international federations. It has a potential to lead the training and development fraternity across the globe and let the youngsters take a lead. I wish great success to all the people. I'm really thankful to Dr. Rao as well as Mr. Mukesh Jain for such a wonderful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Suri.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
We really appreciate your presence in spite being affected by COVID. You made it a point to come join the platform and speak.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Rao,
yeah.
Can I speak for 1 minute?
Yes, sir. This all yours. You are the chairman of the chapter.
Sir, Dr. Akil Basra is here. He is a past national president of NHRD and deeply associated with the ISTD nowadays. So I would like to request him to say few words.
Sure. Absolutely. It's your call.
Mukesh bhai, thank you for this opportunity. As a youngster, when I joined ISTD in mid-86 or 87 ke aspas, 88, I don't remember when, Professor Abad Ahmed, Sunil bhai, Dr. Vinayshil Gautam sahab, Uday Kohli sahab, these were all people we looked up to grow into. So for me, joining this session today, it's a privilege to be amongst all these stalwarts and institution builders. And we feel proud that we are in an association that had such luminaries who built it. And I'm very honored. And I would like to compliment each of those founders and many, many more people who have made ISTD what it is today into 45, 46 chapters. It's not the number, but the type of contribution that ISTD can make and is making today. So even people like Ranjan, young, energetic leaders, have changed the way the movement is happening. So thank you for giving me this few minutes time, Mukesh bhai. Very kind of you, and my compliments and my namaskar and pranam and adab to everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Basra. Thank you.
Sir, we have Mr. Y.N. Kaushal, who's served ISTD Delhi as an acting chairman. He is a very senior and veteran of ISTD. I would request him to speak very few words here, sir. Mr. Y.N. Kaushal.
Yeah, good evening. I'll really be very few words because we have already gone past 8:30.
Yeah,
so we are at 8:31. It is also a privilege for me to be, listening to all these people with whom I have interacted professionally and also personally over my 35 years in Delhi's training circle. So when I was in NTPC and later independently, I had the privilege of listening to and also associated, inviting many of these stalwarts. My own association with this has been from 1987, and it goes on whenever there is some sort of need and there is a demand coming from some people. Okay, contribute to this, I am always ready. And I find it as always a privilege to push this, the boundary of training profession forward. We have a lot to do. And I think what we have done in the first 50 years, I think the next 10 years, we should be able to do as much as what we have done in the last 51 years. So there is a great opportunity, there is a great challenge that is there, and I think I'm sure we will throw up good leadership to take the organization much forward, take this profession much forward. Right. So thank you very much, and my congratulations to the entire training community.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All yours, Dr. Rao.
I'm waiting. Actually, I'm very particular about the time management because the chief guest is there, past people are there, veterans are there. The time is very important. That's what. Otherwise, there was no point. I was not challenging anyone. Thank you so much, Doctor. I think the only thing I will tell Ranjan Mahapatra is, knowingly or unknowingly, we called you doctor, and knowingly or unknowingly, Akil calls you young man. So you got two rewards today. You are a young Dr. Ranjan Mahapatra. So with that, I would skip the audience interaction part. We can't do it today. I will go to our Vice Chairman, Mr. D.V. Sastry, to give his closing remarks and propose a vote of thanks. Mr. Shastri.
Please, everybody, please write your, comments on the chat box.
Now we're going to Mr. D.V. Shastri, Chairman, Vice Chairman of Delhi Chapter, to propose a vote of thanks. Mr. D.V. Shastri.
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Thank you, sir. सर आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा. You are getting muted. No, you are getting muted.
Seems like some internet issue at Dr. Shastri's end.
Do we have Mr. Ajay Sahu here? He was held up in scope. Could he make it, Ajay Sahu?
Ajay is there. Ajay is there.
Mr. Ajay Sahu?
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Yeah. Perfect. Boliye.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Rao. Today's chief guest, Mr. Ranjan Mahapatra. Ranjan means amusing, so it was really a pleasure to listen to him. Dr. Nataraj Ray. Again, Nataraj is nothing but Lord Shiva. So we are very fortunate to have him as the national president. Dr. Udesh Kohli, Dr. Abad Ahmed, Professor Vinayshil Gautam. As we all know, if we want to become human, as we call being human, so Vinay and Shil both are necessary to achieve something in life. So Professor Vinayshil Gautam, Dr. Sunil Abrol, and we also had the pleasure of listening to Dr. Kailash Bakaya, Dr. R.K. Suri, Dr. Akil Basrai, Mr. Y.N. Kaushal, and it is really a matter of great pleasure and privilege to have all of you with us this evening on this special occasion. So I and entire team of Delhi chapter led by Mr. Mukesh Jain and supported by Madam Sucharita, Madam Usha Jain, Pritima ji, my own colleagues, Mr. Yashwant Chauhan, Dr. Will Murugan, Dr. Ashish Srivastav, and others. And it was indeed a great pleasure to have many other learned people without whose presence this event could not have been successful. To name a few, Dr. Daniel Kurian, our National Vice President, Professor Radha Sharma, Professor P.K. Sharma from Jaipur, Mr. Manish Singh, Secretary from Ahmedabad chapter, our own friend Mr. S.K. Bose from Indian Oil, Mr. Ashok Deshpande from Nasik, Dr. R.S. Dabas, Madam Mamta Mahapatra from IMI, Mr. Nakul Pathak from IFCO, Mr. K.K. Majumdar, Mr. Vijay Gupta, Mr. Varang Ghai, and so many others whose presence made this evening such a memorable one. So once again, on my own behalf and on behalf of Delhi chapter team, I express my sincere gratitude and thanks to each of the dignitaries for having spared their valuable time with all of us and sharing their wisdom with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shastri. It was a wonderful closing address and a vote of thanks. So once again, congratulations and compliments to each one of you on the 51st Foundation Day of IST Delhi chapter. Before you leave, we'll keep the chat box open. Please write your comments, your thoughts, your share. Please. That will be great for us. We'll be treasure. We'll save and keep this chat box with our chapter. And as promised, we have recorded the session. We'll make a YouTube link and share with you. And please share with others too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you, Pratima ji. Thank you, Mr. D.V. Shastri, for your all-time support for making this function very, very successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.